Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this video goes out. I'm not too sure. Welcome back. We're looking at the Toxicant Airsoft Spear LT CSAW MCX. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But I'm going to try and keep this short today. This is just a bit of a quick video to show you what we managed to get out of this rifle at 1 joule. So we went and tested the Spear LT from Aaron Smith. At the same time, I took a bunch of guns. There's actually a new one which is coming up for review, which is the Beretta PMX, otherwise known as the KWA MP9's younger brother, shall we say. But while I was doing it, and I was running out of .4s, and I don't really want to go down to a .3, and I was waiting for Outdoor and Tactical to get their BB stock back in. Unfortunately, it didn't come in time when we were there. But I did have a bag of 4.8s, and 4.8s are expensive, especially in something that shoots semi-auto. But I was like, you know what, let's see what this thing can do. So it's got that valve mod that I did the video on ages ago, how to create your own NPAS. So we put 4.8s in, it's running at, like I say, 1 joule. And we thought, let's see what this thing could do. And I think it was pretty comical, really. We were just messing around. We weren't expecting silly results. But we managed to hit a target at 80 metres. Measured, true, 80 metres. Not your airsoft meters. Not your, yeah, it looks about 80 metres. We measured it out with a stupidly long measuring tape. And you'll see the targets, as in the last video, 20, 40, 60, 80. Everything was measured. So we know the results that we put in on video is true. You'll see, firing at the 20, which, I mean, the gun isn't overpowered, so you could fire at somebody. There's going to be no minimum engagement distance with this, but you can hear the BBs hitting that target, and 4.8s are, very good. Just a disclaimer, could you get better at this rifle? Yes, you could. We were doing it very slap hazard on the day. I'm firing from an unfixed position, so I'm literally just standing there with the rifle. So I am bouncing all over the place. Now, the target at 80 metres, it doesn't sound like a lot, but where we were on location, it was very difficult for me, the shooter, even with the LPVO on there, which is the primary arms one. I think this is the SLX6. As they get into the end of their flight path, it was very difficult for me to see. So I was having to guess. You'll see I was, moving the muzzle up and sort of letting them dip in. I didn't want to overhop the 4.8s. So I thought I'll just do a bit of a holdover. And then I sent my buddy down there and I said, just go see what's happening, because we thought we were getting about 70 odd metres. So we'll get the footage up now. You can take a look and we'll be back on camera just after. These will hit hard, they should do. See that difference? Funk.
What's the rate of these?
4.8. I mean, we might need a bit more hot, but okay.
It's actually going past it.
I mean, it's got to be close, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like it's dropping just before the target.
From here, it looks like it's hopping actually slightly over it.
See, what happens is it goes out, it comes up, and then it comes back down. But it's difficult to say how far away I am for the hold. But
That's fine.
I think that was more like 78. I mean, the only way to tell would be for one of us to go stand round the corner. Standing at 70.
When you weren't keyed in, they were dropping at about 70. When you were keyed in, they were dropping consistently between 79 and 82, and you got 3 strikes on directly on the 80.
So 3 hits on the 80.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's that far away. I couldn't hear. I mean, at one point, I thought I could hear like a knock on the wood.
3 times you hit it.
So 3 hits at 80. Average distance 79 to 82.
79 to 82, but you had the ones towards the end where you were dropping a little, and they were there at 70.
I think that's when the pressure in the mag's dropping, because I put a few mags through it. With a 4.8.
Mate, that's
at 1 joule.
That's gonna piss someone off, that.
So, yeah, 20, 40, 60, no drama at all. I sent my buddy down there. I was like, let's find out what's going on. We thought we was getting about 70 meters, and then as I was firing, you'll have seen the footage already, but as I was firing at the target, I couldn't actually hear the BBs hitting the target. Bear in mind, we're not running DMR limits, we're not running sniper limits, we're running at 1 joule. And I was having to lob them in a bit, but this managed to get 3 hits on a target at 80 meters. Bear in mind, those targets, they're not human size, they're tiny. You could very much fit one on this screen here. They're not big at all. It's just a bit of plywood sprayed black with a very crude sprayed number on there to show you how far it is. And what my buddy, you'll have seen it already, but my buddy was saying that you were actually going past the 80. So the effective range of this rifle is past 80. And I say effective loosely because you can hit a target past 80 meters. You're just not going to be insanely accurate with it because of the power restriction with such a heavy BB, shall we say. So 3 hits out of a mag, which I don't think is bad. I was all over the target. I think I had a couple that would drop in, which I think was the pressure starting to drop in the mag because we used the mag a bunch that day. And you'll have seen some comical comments from my friend towards the end of that a little bit there. So I just wanted to show you what this platform is capable of. Now, many of you are going to be asking, what you're running this, even though I've told you 1,000 times before. This is a standard Toxicant SIG MCX Spear LT CSAW. That's the special model that it is. Close support assault weapon, I think, or something like that it stands for. So the bolt is exactly as it comes from factory. The only thing I've done is we've put a grub screw in there to reduce the power. The trigger box is a Toxicant trigger box, but it's their upgraded one, which all I've done is I've dropped a shim underneath the rear mount section just to raise it up slightly, because if you sort of snug that screw down, it really binds up the selector. So that's that out of the way. Standard hop and hop adjuster that comes with the rifle. Only things in there: Lilacs 250mm 6.03 MWS barrel. Very good barrels for the MWS. I use them in pretty much most of my builds. It's a good budget option if you don't want to spend silly money. Saying that, a budget option, the barrels perform phenomenally. Flamingo 60-degree pink rubber, and of course a Jaeger Precision Titan nub. And in most of my MWSs, I have Lilacs barrel, Flamingo 60 pink, and the Titan nub. And this thing is just phenomenal. It's very much fast becoming, one of my favourite rifles to play around with. I was firing a lot of rifles on the day. I took my Noveski N4, I took my Mark 18, we took the M733, we took the Guns Modify 416, we took the Beretta PMX, we took an MP9, we took loads of stuff. This is probably what I played with the most because it's just a joy to shoot. So hope you've enjoyed that. The next video coming up hopefully will be on the Beretta PMX. I've also picked up an MP9, very difficult to get hold of at the moment unless you buy abroad. Brand new, that is. And I've also picked up another in the KWA sort of line series family of products, shall we say, which we'll get into more in that when I bring it up on camera. But thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you all getting, in with the videos and commenting. I do read, predominantly all of the comments, unless I've missed one. Links in the description below. Make sure you check them out. And as always, from me and from Bench, we'll see you in the next video.